with these frameworks updated, I have made a tiny mistake. I wanted to show you a demo of the application working before I upgraded these frameworks. I could not do that. I'm so sorry. Alright, so when I start the application, alright, before the package upgrade, this UI bar, it was pretty neat and clean, but then because of the Bootstrap package update, this thing has kind of lost its UI. So let's go ahead and do a quick investigation as to what happens when you Bootstrap upgrade from 3 to 4. Alright, so when you do that, notice the migration link for version 4. Alright, and then some of these changes are breaking changes, and then we are specifically talking about navigation. So let's look at, say, navs and nav bars, that as to what has changed here. And then if you read through this material, it is going to say that the class name is not now .nav, and then it expects li and a as the childs. There are new classes that are introduced like nav items and nav links. If we make that change, a few things will start working. Notice that earlier there was something called as navbar toggle. Now it is navbar toggler with a small r in the end. Why would they do that? I am not pretty sure, but then this is the assignment for the architects to evaluate a framework, that there are certain advantages of designing applications this way. Alright, so let's go ahead and try to implement those changes inside our application. I'm going to leave the application running, and I'm going to ask you guys one more question. In what file do I have to make the rest of the changes related to navigation? Where will you put navigation?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, please?
Where will you put navigation? So now that the navigation is broken, and we know that if there are class name changes, that is kind of breaking it, where do I go and make changes to fix the navigation again?
Yeah, we will be having a CSS file, common CSS file. So from there, we will just see.
Alright.
First, we will identify where is the source of that file. Maybe from the F12, and then we can change.
Alright.
I think it should be in the shared layout.
Yeah, it is a shared layout folder. So notice, as soon as I open it, navbar toggle, there's a little r that I have to add, and then probably a lot of classes have changed. The way I can check that is I delete a few letters and hit Control space, and then there's no class with navbar inverse, right? So I'm just going to get rid of that. Navbar fixed top probably is also not present. It is not present, right? So let's try, from my knowledge of Bootstrap, that there's something called as fixed top. Alright, from my knowledge of this work, navbar hyphen dark, and then this also requires adding another class called probably background dark. Now I haven't stopped debugging. Notice that there is this, it is still running in the background. I'm going to save my work, switch back to the browser and hit Control R, and then notice how this thing has tugged up. Alright, and there's this little button that I'm seeing. I am thinking that this is because of mobile first development for smaller screens. That makes me think that there is something called as navbar hyphen expand hyphen md. As soon as I add this and refresh the page again, notice that how the menu pops up and then that little thing disappears. Because this screen is bigger than md, the UI is kind of starting to come back together. Now I also know that the li item is has a new class. Let me switch back to browser and read the name of the class. So it is called nav-items. I'm using a Visual Studio trick. I am pretty sure that you guys all know it. I'm doing multi-column selection and typing. I'm going to paste the class name here like so, and hit save button again. Hopefully that'll fix a few things. Alright, no changes at all, probably because it is in combination with nav links. So let me go ahead and add nav links as well. Now I know from my knowledge on MVC that if I want to pass class to this particular thing, I have to add an anonymous parameter over here. Probably, if I remember the syntax still right, this is how you create that parameter, and I have to paste nav links over here. Is this the correct syntax, guys? I think it is complaining. Probably there's no @ I am so sorry. I'm going to have to do a little cheating here. Alright, so it is @ class. I was so close. So it is @ class, correct? And I'm going to copy all the way to the end, and then I'm going to do another little trick. I'm going to select all the way to the end and hit Control H. Notice this little replace menu, and I'm going to replace all of these selections, and there are 6 occurrences that got replaced. I'm going to save and refresh the page one more time, and this has broken. Okay, because this replaced a little too many. What I need to do here is probably make it look like this, and it is also complaining about. All right, let me go ahead and ignore all of that and copy this thing. All right, no error in this one. Give me one moment. All right, hopefully I'm not going to see an error this time. All right, so we got our UI back. If I switch to the tablet view or the cell phone view, this thing is still broken, but that's fine. Let's just move on and continue with the rest of the session. Okay, so I don't know if this counts as refactoring, but some of the changes are going to be broken changes. And then, like Manish said in the beginning, that one of the objectives of refactoring is that we do not affect the external behavior of the application. Because of bumping up the Bootstrap version, we had lost that UI field, and then we restored that by making some class level changes and hierarchy changes of of the layout page. With that, I think I can go ahead and stop the UI editing, and let's start with the code review of this particular application. I'm going to close out of all of these windows